Final item in the name of Deputy Sean Conlan to the Minister for Education and Skills. The need to protect the future viability of the collegiate school in Monaghan. The Deputy has 4 minutes for an initial statement. Sean Conlan.
I welcome the opportunity to speak on this important topic, which is of great importance not only to County Monaghan, but I believe is an issue of national importance and should be addressed and treated as such. To briefly give other deputies some background, the collegiate school in Monaghan has been opened and accepting students since the 1500s. It is a small school of 247 pupils and teaches in the Protestant ethos. It's the only Protestant secondary school in County Monaghan. We have a number of Protestant national schools, but this is the only Protestant secondary school in County Monaghan. The collegiate does more than serve as a school. It serves a vital function to the minority community in County Monaghan. It's important in a republic that parents have a right to choose the faith they will bring their children up in and where they will attend school. This is a choice all parents should have regardless of their religious ethos. There has to be a diversity in ethos in schools in this country, and where a need is identified, this government must support this need. There has to be a way found of keeping the current curriculum intact. The parents who send their children to collegiate in Monaghan are not part of a wealthy elite who choose to send their children to a private school because of a belief that they'll secure a better standard of education. These parents choose to send their children to the collegiate because they want their children taught in the Protestant faith. The fees for attending the schools are incredibly low and are not on a par with those quoted for some Dublin schools. It's very important in this day and age that Ireland, as a republic, sends out a message, particularly in a border area such as Monaghan, that this country promotes inclusivity and will not force members of the minority Protestant community to send their children across the border into counties Armagh and Tyrone to receive an education to which I believe they are entitled to get in the republic. The collegiate has already suffered this year as a result of the loss of its concession, and its pupil-teacher ratio has increased as a result. If any more pressure is placed upon the school to increase this ratio further, specialised teachers in subjects such as French will be lost, thus increasing the chances of parents sending their children to complete their education across the border. And as the headmaster of the school, Mr Johnson Reid, put in his early fashion, he said that if you take the goods off the shelf, people don't come into the shop. The effective pupil-teacher ratio after next September will actually be 29 to 1, not 23 to 1, because at the moment children are entitled to 28 hours of education per week, whereas teachers are only entitled to teach for 22 hours a week. So in terms of, for a headmaster juggling the numbers, it means the effective ratio is 29 to 1. It's vital that funding is secured for the future viability of the collegiate. I believe that the school will be suitable for funding on the peace programmes as a cross-border project. I cannot stress enough that this community must not be made to feel excluded and marginalised. The collegiate has survived for over 400 years, and it's a testament to the strength and determination of the Protestant community in County Monaghan to educate their children in their own ethos. Now, I've been approached for a large number of parents and actually students, and there's a palpable sense of anger there that they believe they've been discriminated against in this one-size-fits-all approach from the Department of Education. As I said, the collegiate is it's a special case in the sense it's a border school, and we have a situation whereby north of the border in Athenacly, which is less than a mile from the border, and Newton Hamlet, which is less than 3 miles from the border, Protestant schools have been protected by where the pupil-teacher ratio would also be under threat, have been protected over the last 25 years. And it's vitally important that this issue is brought to the fore, and the parents who want to send their kids to this school can do so in the future. It's fine if you want to send your kids to a multi-denominational school, that's fine. But some parents want to raise their kids in a faith-based school, whether it be Catholic or Protestant. And in a republic like this, we must make sure that that right is protected. And the changes that are taking place at the moment will jeopardise the future of this school, and I think that would be a retrograde step. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Deputy. Minister Perry.
Can be assured that the school to which the Deputy referred has been in contact with the Department. I would strongly find that with the Board of Management, if no doubt the Board of Management will be actively working with the Department. A range of issues have been discussed and further meetings will be held. The fee paying charge, with regard to the fee charge in Protestant schools, an arrangement exists whereby funding is provided by the Department to the Secondary Education Committee. So I would strongly recommend that I think the Constitution does not allow either the positive or negative discrimination of schools based on their religious ethos. So it's very important that while we have similar schools right around the country, but entirely agree with Deputy Conlan that the Department and the Minister will do everything he can to facilitate this within the constitution of the state. And I think it's important that we emphasise that point. I think that where parents may be annoyed, it's very important that we now engage with the Board of Management, get into meaningful negotiations with the Minister, and I have no doubt that he will come to a situation that will prevail, that the school ethos will prevail, and the 247 children that are now attending that will continue. So I would ask the Minister or the Deputy to engage and to convey that to the Principal and the Board of Management. Thank you.
Deputy Sean Conlan has a further 2 minutes for a supplementary.
Thank you for your response. I'd like to say this. It's the only Protestant secondary school in County Monaghan. It's very simple and very easy for parents to send their kids 2 or 3 miles across the border to schools in Athenry or Newton Hamilton or into Armagh. It would be a travesty if, through a government's educational policy, this school was lost in the future. The numbers are small, 247. The fees are very modest, €700 a year. It's not in the same league as the wealthy Dublin schools. Ordinary working people send their kids to this school because it's the only faith-based school of their faith in the county. I can't stress enough, this community must not be made feel excluded and marginalised. The collegiates survived for over 400 years. It's a testament to the strength and determination of the local Protestant community to protect their school. It's not an acceptable situation to anybody with true republican values, as a republic cherishes and recognises all citizens equally. Any republic which chooses to deny a marginal community or a minority community the basic right of an education in an institution sympathetic to their ethos, while at the same time funding education programmes for their Catholic counterparts or for people of no faith, can't call itself a true republic. We have to be very conscious of what we're doing here with this policy, and we have to make sure to do everything possible to ensure that this school has a future. And if this school went into the free scheme, they'd be down to 14 teachers. They would lose vital subjects, and parents would choose to send their kids across the border to schools in Armagh and Tyrone, because you're only talking a stone's throw. It's 6 miles from Monaghan town to the border. Many kids live along the border, and it's as easy for them to get in the school bus and go to Newton Hamilton or go to Armagh as it is going to Monaghan town. It would be a travesty if in a republic parents had to choose to send their children to Northern Ireland to get an education in this day and age. I think you need to look seriously at this topic and get a solution that's acceptable to the parents. The parents are very, very angry. They feel discriminated by this policy. This is not going to go away, and I think it needs to be sorted out. And I urge the Minister to sort it out as quickly as possible.